cost of the home is just the beginning, because after the closing table, Colorado Springs might introduce you to some unexpected expenses.
I'm going to jump right into it. One of the first ones that we help kind of buyers navigate through is going to be something that's not in a lot of places, but in Colorado, we do have something that is called radon. And radon is basically an odorless gas, and a lot of times it's going to live underground and very, very common in basements. And there's a lot of states that you might be coming from that don't even have basements, and so it's probably not super popular there. But radon is something that, you know, if you are purchasing a house with us, if you are using us to help you with your relocation here to Colorado Springs, because we are your local real estate agents, you'll do a radon test during the inspection. And then if it does come back high, then we try to get the seller to mitigate that for you and install, it's like a
radon mitigation system.
Yeah, it's like a big old PVC thing that kind of goes out, and a little fan that's basically gonna kind of push all of the gas and stuff out of the house.
And they only cost like 10 or 20 bucks, right?
Right. They range anywhere from like $1,200 to, we just had one, it was almost over $3,000. And so that's definitely an unexpected expense when moving here to Colorado Springs.
Well, especially if you're new to the Colorado Springs area, whether you have a basement or you don't have a basement, sometimes there's even a crawl space, which if you have a crawl space, we always recommend that you have something called a vapor barrier, which is just basically a tarp that is a layer between the soils and then the barrier and then your house, right? Because if you don't test for these things, they can cause potential issues. True story, when we sold our last house, the people that were buying it did a radon test, and sure enough, our house popped hot for radon. And our daughter at the time, she would always get like headaches and migraines and stuff like that. So was that related to that? Who really knows? We don't obviously can't prove that it was or it wasn't. But if you're moving to Colorado Springs, we would highly recommend doing the radon test, because it definitely can be costly.
Yep, for sure. Now, the good news is that like once it's installed, we do recommend testing it every year, which is just a few $100s. But for the most part, that once that initial installation is done, that does help a lot with that.
Yeah, and then the other aspect of it, so we're starting from the basement. Now let's go to the roof. In Colorado Springs, hail is an extreme potential factor, and because our weather's so crazy, you might not ever see it coming. It could be sunny and 75, and then in the blink of an eye, here comes a crazy rainstorm that turns into hail. So a couple different things. One, if you care anything about your vehicles, garage may be an important thing for you to have.
Super important.
Make sure that if you have a crazy big vehicle, that it can fit in your garage, because that would be a super bummer if you move here and it doesn't end up fitting where you would like it to. But then for your roof as well, probably, I mean, just as equally as important as your car, because you're going to have to pay a deductible either way if you get this crazy hailstorm to come in. One, do a roof inspection when you move to Colorado Springs to make sure that the roof is in appropriate condition. And then two, if we do get a crazy hailstorm, we have tons of people that we know and trust that can basically go on your roof and make sure that there's no hail claims that you need to make. But hail is definitely something to be on the lookout for when you move to Colorado Springs.
Well, and to kind of tie into that too, Sean, I think, you know, when you move to Colorado Springs, I think homeowners insurance is kind of a sticker shock to a lot of people. Not necessarily to, you know, higher risk, like, you know, Florida, I know that they have flood insurance because of the hurricanes and stuff like that. But if you're coming from like Nebraska or Kansas, then it's probably going to be a sticker shock because of our weather, because we have a ton of fires, because we have a ton of hail. Your premiums are a lot more expensive than what you would probably be budgeting for. And so we always recommend, you know, as soon as we go under contract, you get an insurance quote just to make sure that you're comfortable with that, because it's sneaky, and your roof plays a big part of that, because if you have a brand new roof with class 4 shingles, then your insurance probably isn't going to be as high as it would be if you have like a 15-year-old roof, you know. And because our weather is so freaking bipolar and crazy, it has an impact on your insurance, which that impacts your dollars.
And if you're new to the channel, I'm Sean, this is Crystal. We are your local real estate experts in Colorado Springs, but we do the surrounding areas as well. We were just helping a buyer in Florissant. They wanted more of like a mountain property with some land and things like that. But as we were going along in this process, same problem. They couldn't get insurance on the home for a fair price for what they were willing to pay, because they would have to do fire mitigation by removing trees. They had to get a brand new roof put on. And I thought there was one other thing.
Just the age of all like the mechanics inside of it.
So again, insurance quotes are super important, and depending on where you're living, sometimes they're way more expensive than other areas. So if you're searching for a home in the Colorado Springs or surrounding areas, feel free to reach out to us, 719-238-1771. We always love chatting with you guys and helping you decide to move to Colorado Springs.
So what are some other like hidden fees necessarily that...
The hidden fun fees, that's what we'll call them. Hidden fun fees of living in a four-season state. Can you go to the lake? Sure can. Can you go to the mountains and ski and snowboard? You sure can. Can you go to the mountains and go to the hot springs? You sure can. But with all these different seasons becomes the reality of what you need to really thrive in the Colorado Springs and surrounding areas. So one, which is kind of an interesting one, but I always think about these things, 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive vehicles. If you plan on going to the mountains in the wintertime, you're probably going to want to have a 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive vehicle and or snow tires.
I was going to say
how crazy you're trying to get into the mountains, all the toys that come along with all the great things that you can do here, from mountain biking to boating, jet skis. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Well, and even like paddle boards or kayaks or canoes, like, because you can do that in a lot of the tiny little lakes that we have around here. And it's costs that you don't necessarily think about, but you are gonna have to do that. Or if you're wanting to experience like the real 4 seasons of Colorado and do more nature stuff, it's all gonna come with a price tag because you're gonna have to invest in the equipment.
I wish I knew more about boats so I could educate you guys on this. I went to the gas station this morning and this guy had this super nice brand new boat, humongous speaker system on it, like one of the ones that you would use to pull someone that's doing all the fun flips and things. But the truck that he had to drive to pull this it's $100,000 for the truck just to be able to pull all of his toys. I was talking to him about it and he's like, oh yeah, it's crazy. And now I'm going to spend $200 in fuel going there and back because when you tow stuff, obviously it's more expensive. RVs, campers, even down to just shoes. If you want to go hiking, you're going to hike here one time and go, okay, cool. My Vans are probably not the best hiking shoe. You're going to start doing all this research and then end up spending $189 on the newest, craziest hiking shoes. So yeah, the cost of living here when it comes to all the fun things can certainly add up.
Yeah, well, and I think probably like the biggest cost with what Sean was saying is definitely your car. We see a lot of people that are in like 2-wheel drive cars and the snow comes and they're stranded on the side of the road. And so when you are coming, if you don't have the luxury of being able to work from home and you're going to have to drive, because our public transportation system is not really that crazy, or we don't have a lot of it. And so you're going to be driving from point A to point B. And so your car and your tires are going to be really important to make sure that you're safe and that you don't slip on the roads and get into an accident.
Yeah, and the last thing that I wanted to touch on is going to be super important for anyone looking at new builds. So if you are looking at new builds, make sure you're paying attention to this part here. One, make sure that you hire someone or someone's very reputable that have done the process over and over again to make sure that you're getting the quality of home that you deserve and that builder is promising you. But hidden expenses with new builds, if you don't know what you're doing or if you don't have representation, can be outrageous, from landscaping to fencing to blinds to appliances to upgrades that we can get included because we know how to negotiate with the builders and we have great relationships with them. So if you're looking at buying a new build, these are just some of the things that I would definitely keep at the forefront of your mind.
Well, and your landscaping is probably going to be your biggest fee when it comes to building. And depending on which builder you go with, they'll either include fencing or they won't. And so if you have to put up the fence and you have to put up, even just in like a typical, like a normal size yard, if you're doing sod and rock and what is it, like wood chips, what are they called? Mulch. And then like a tree, like very standard kind of what is normal for a new build, that's going to run you like $20,000 to $25,000 just for that. And then the fence is going to be another 10 grand, depending on what type of fence you're allowed. And so I think, when people think it sounds really enticing to build, but you also just have to factor in, it's a lot of fun. We love the process. We love going with our clients to the design center and, figuring out what they want to do. And, so that's all, it's a great and fun process, but those are just those hidden expenses that you don't think about. Blinds, a refrigerator 9 times out of 10 does not come with the house. And so we either try to negotiate that. Fridges are not freaking cheap, you guys. I mean, they're thousands of dollars.
And you got to make sure you buy the right size one. Because if you buy the wrong size one, you might open it, hit something crazy, or it might be too shallow. Like, you never know. So these are just things.
Yep.
So if you are looking at moving to Colorado Springs, debating pre-existing homes versus new builds, or just curious about the other costs of purchasing a home in the Colorado Springs area, again, be sure to reach out to us, 719-238-1771. We help people move here from out of state all the time. We're always happy to answer your questions. So until next time, we will see you in the next video.